grumpy old man, Federal Reserve Bank conspiracy theory corner. Don't get me too riled up. So a guy like found me on Twitter and I was posting charts of the Federal Reserve Bank and he went after me and I was like, dude, you don't know who you're talking to, man. And I went in my whole thing about like how Federal Reserve Bank should be basically dismantled. I think we still need it, but the mechanisms that they use to like set interest rates are they're beyond antiquated. Like we could have that all be done algorithmic. That's how most things are set now anyway. Like why do we have some like group of old grumpy guys that go into some corner and like magically pretend to know what is set? Anyway, so what I did want to talk about was this guy, Graham Stephan, who is a finance YouTuber. And he talked about selling all his real estate holdings in Los Angeles. And this went viral on Twitter. He's complaining about the cost associated with it. And it's just a lot to manage and it's difficult. And my take on this was that really what he's talking about is the end of ZIRP. So I think during the 0% interest rate run up over the last, I don't know, it started with Bernanke, right? So it went up Bernanke was a Federal Reserve president. For people who aren't on a first name basis with all of the ins and outs and the people who manage the Federal Reserve Bank. He was there. He's the one who like put rates to zero, like boomed assets, right? Stocks, real estate, everything went to the moon. And that went on for like a long time. And I think that was primarily responsible for the fact that real estate, in my opinion, is really overvalued. I sold my home in California. I believe really deeply in this. I just thought that the whole thing was ridiculous. And like I continue to see news items like this, that like people are looking at real estate going like, it's not a great investment. And what he ultimately said was that he sold the real estate because he believed he could only get like 4% appreciation and that would be a better use of his money than having it at home to just put it into like stocks, bonds, ETFs, things that pay 4% because you don't have to do all of the like, you know, upkeep and repairs and taxes and all of those things. So that's it. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, it sounds like his problem. It's just like one person. Okay, first of all, fine. It's a smart capital allocation move.
Yeah.
Right? Like, okay, makes sense. And if he's barely getting 4% from a property, put it into risk-free treasuries, bonds, savings accounts, whatever the thing. Fair. But like, it's just, I think it's his problem. But what else? Is there anything to talk about this? Do you think that like, do you think it's a wider problem of the system?
Well, okay. So what happens is there's all these people out there who are crazy and they spin this into like, don't ever buy a home, don't buy real estate, it's bad. And I don't believe that.
Okay, you don't believe that. Okay, great.
No. But I don't believe it's a fantastic investment. I think that like everyone, there's a time in your life when I think it's appropriate to own a home. And the reason it's good is because like, even if it doesn't appreciate all that much, you can pay down the mortgage and you'll have an asset then that you can sell and like you got to pay rent anyway. I believe
you
that.
got to pay rent. So really we're just overcorrecting for the over investment.
Yeah, it's the Federal Reserve Bank did it.
Blame it on the Fed. Fair enough.
The Fed did it.
Fair enough. Just blame it all on the Fed. Fair enough. You know, fair enough.
All right.
So in Toronto, like
nobody wants to hear about this anymore. Let's just go on.
So like the same thing is happening in Toronto, right? Like there's a lot of like right-leaning newspaper that's coming out and say, hey, this investor lost, let's say, $500,000 on buying condos in Toronto that they can't close on. Do I feel bad for them? A little bit. Yeah, they lost $500,000 of their savings or their money. But at the end of the day, it's like you bought a 400 square foot condo for almost $1 million. That was a terrible decision.